Hello everyone, this is Anjali Tyagi. Today I'll explain the poem A Tiger in the Zoo of First Flight Book of Class 10. It is composed by Leslie Norris. George Leslie Norris, who was born in 1921, was a prize-winning Welsh poet and short story writer. He is considered as most important Welsh writers of the post-war period, and his literary works have won many prizes. His famous works are Finding Gold, The Loud Winder, Phoenix Living Poets series, Ransoms, etc. Introduction of the poem. The poem, written by Leslie Norris, explains the agony and helplessness of a caged tiger that lives in a zoo. The poet explains what his life could be if he had been a free animal. The poet has tried to explain about the condition of animals that are caged by human beings for their own fun. First stanza of the poem. He stalks in his vivid stripes, the few steps of his cage on pads of velvet quiet, in his quiet race. Stalks means follow or to walk proudly. Vivid, bright colored. Pads means paws of tiger. Race means anger. Here the poet says that the tiger that is confined in the zoo moves around in the cage under his bright colored skin. He further says that the tiger can take only a few steps because the cage is small and it is not easy to move in it. One cannot hear his footsteps because he has very soft feet like velvet, because of which there is no sound of the tiger's footsteps. The tiger tries to control his anger by walking quietly in the limited area of the cage. He is angry because he is not free. Rhyming scheme of the poem A, B, C, B. Personification. The tiger is personified because the poet refers him as he. Next poetic device is metaphor. Tiger's paws are compared with velvet. Enjambment. Sentence is continuing to next line without any punctuation mark. Next poetic device is imagery. Poet tries to create an image about the tiger. He stalks in his vivid stripes the few steps of his cage. Consonants. Use of S sound stalks his stripes. Assonance. Use of vowel sound I in his vivid stripes. Oxymoron. Use of adjective opposite in meaning, that is quite raise. Second stanza of the poem. He should be lurking in shadow, sliding through long grass near the water hole where plump deer pass. Lurking means to be hidden as to wait for its prey. The poet says that if this tiger was free, he would have hid himself behind the long grass near the water bodies so that he could easily catch a deer in order to have it as its food. Basically, the poet wants to say that the actual life of a tiger is to live in jungle where he could catch his prey and eat it, but the tiger in the cage cannot do so. Literary devices. Enjambment. Line continues to next line without punctuation mark from sliding through to deer pass. Alliteration. Use of sound P at the start of two words plump, pass. Imagery. The poet has tries to create an image of tiger's activities lurking in shadow. Next stanza. He should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge, baring his white fangs, his claws, terrorizing the village. Snarling. Snarling means warning sounds made by animals. Baring. means uncovered or showing. Fangs, sharp teeth of animals. The poet says that if the tiger would have been free, he would have snarled around the houses located at the outskirts of the forest. He would terrorize people with his sharp teeth and claws. This would create fear among the people living in the villages. Literary devices. Again, enjambment. Line continues to the next line without punctuation mark. From he should be snarling around houses at the jungle's edge. Onomatopoeia. Using words which denote sound, just like snarling. Assonance. Use of vowel sound O and I. Should around houses with O sound and barring his white fangs. There I sound. Consonants. Use of consonant sound S. His fangs, his claws. Next stanza. But he is locked in a concrete cell, his strength behind bars, stalking the length of his cage, ignoring visitors. Concrete means building made of bricks, cement, sand and water. Now the poet comes to the reality of the tiger that is inside the cage. He says that the tiger is confined in a strong cell which is made of strong building material. He further says that as the tiger is behind bars, so his ferociousness is also behind the bars. He just stalks in the cage. He never tries to terrorize the visitors because his power is restricted by the cage. Therefore, he never tries to terrorize the visitors as he cannot attack them. Literary devices. Personification. The tiger is personified because the poet refers him as he. Assonance. Use of vowel sound E. He, locked, concrete, cell. Consonants. Use of consonant sound S. His, strength, bars. Alliteration. Use of sound B at the start of two words behind bars. Next stanza. He hears the last voice at night, the patrolling cars, and stares with his brilliant eyes at the brilliant stars. Patrolling means to guard or to whistle. The poet says that in the night, the tiger hears the sound of the patrolling cars. Patrolling cars are the vehicles of police which are used to guard at night. So in the night, the tiger hears the sounds of these cars. He then stares at the shining stars with his shining eyes. The poet wants to say that the tiger is sad, and as he is confined in the cage, so he cannot do anything. Therefore, he stares at the stars in the night and tries to divert his thoughts towards them. Literary devices. Again, enjambment. Line 3 continues to line 4 without any punctuation mark. Alliteration. Use of sound H in the starting of two words. He hears. Assonance. Use of I sound with his brilliant. This is all about the poem. Thank you very much for listening.